So that's going to be one of the problems that we're dealing with this entire system. Not only are we going to continue to see these high winds, the threat for these brief spin-up tornadoes, and in some cases not so brief because that line keeps going and spinning up more tornadoes. But these storms are marching over ground that's already highly saturated. We've already had between 3, 4, or 5 inches or more on this same turf just within the last 24 to 48 hours. So again, flash flooding is going to be a problem. There is a flood watch posted for virtually all of us as we go through the rest of the night. I believe that goes all the way until 4 o'clock in the morning.
You know, a few hours ago, Mark, we kind of knew this was going to end up being a pretty big night across the area because, one, we were upgraded from the Storm Prediction Center to be in a moderate risk, and this is fairly rare for the Chicagoland area. So what we're looking at here, this moderate risk, that's a level 4 out of 5 on their severe risk scale. And to kind of put things in perspective on what we were dealing with yesterday compared to what we were dealing with today, yesterday evening, when we had those strong to severe storms rolling through, we were in this yellow shading here, a slight risk, which is a level 2 of 5. So this is telling us that we have higher confidence in seeing those long-lived, widespread severe storms being possible. Let's break down the risks a little bit. One, of course, going to be the straight line wind damage. We've been talking about this for quite some time, but we do have a 45% risk of severe winds moving through, damaging wind gusts moving through. And then for those of you in LaPorte County, stretching over into eastern Porter County down into Newton and Jasper, that red shaded area, that is for a 30% wind risk. And then taking us to our tornado risk, of course, that's been upgraded as well. The entire Chicagoland area has a 10% tornado risk. And unfortunately, we're already seeing some of this beginning to unfold. So big picture here, we have this line of storms beginning to work its way through. It's moving from west to east through the Chicagoland area, but the southern end of this is taking more of a southeasterly track. So for those of you that are in LaSalle County, we're already seeing torrential downpours in the northwestern sections of LaSalle County. And at this point, we have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 9:15. LaSalle County currently is tornado warning free. Same thing for those of you that are in Kendall County. You have a severe thunderstorm warning that's remaining in effect until 9:15 p.m. for wind gusts as high as 60 to 70 miles per hour being possible. If at some point tonight you see any of these blinking orange boxes showing up, those are destructive severe thunderstorm warnings, suggesting that we could be seeing 75 plus mile per hour winds being possible. So straight line wind damage is something that we have to watch out for very closely. In addition, of course, to the tornado warnings, which we have multiple at this point. So northeastern DeKalb County, tornado warning until 8:45 p.m. That's about 4 minutes from now. It has now been extended over into northern Kane County. We have another tornado warning that's in southern Kane County. This includes Batavia and then also in southern McHenry County. So I'm going to start from the north, work my way to the south on what's taking place in these particular locations as far as rotation is concerned. So let's switch things over to storm relative velocity. Again, what we're typically looking for here is when the reds, greens come together, but more specifically when we have the little notches that you see here. So we've got one right about here and then another further to the south and the west. So for those of you near Coral, you are included in the tornado warning right along Route 30. We're seeing a little bit of rotation there. You can see it's showing up in this red shaded here. So I'm going to zoom things in. Once again, for those of you in this area near Union, we have just east of Dunham Road, south of State Route 176. Now the strongest signal of rotation is right along Hemmingson Road and where that comes together with Leach Road. So for those of you in Coral, north of Coral Road, south of Hemmingson Road, you are seeing possibly a brief spin-up tornado at this point. So if you're not already, get to your safe space, of course. I've been mentioning that. Now let's slide things to the south a little ways further, checking out all of the tornado warnings that we have. I want to zoom in specifically to where we are seeing the strongest signals of rotation. Northeast DeKalb County, this is just east of Genoa. Zooming things in, let's get a check of the roads here of where we're seeing that strongest signal. So again, what I'm looking for here is when we see the brighter greens, and then especially when we see that little dot of red right there, that's suggesting strong rotation being possible. So just south of State Route 72 and west of Roosevelt Road. So for those of you in that location, again, this is northeastern DeKalb County, we're seeing some stronger signs of rotation there as well. Let's zoom things back out again. Continue to follow this line that's making its way through. Burlington, we have weak rotation, but the stronger stuff really is further to the south. So Burlington Hills, at this point, if we zoom in, we are seeing seeing some stronger signs of rotation. It looks like just near Middleton Road. And then what road is this? Let me just bear with me for a minute. So Peploe Road down toward Middleton Road. That's kind of like our cross streets that we're seeing here down toward Ram Road. So where Ram Road and Peploe Road are coming together, we have some pretty strong signals of rotation at this point. And again, we're about to see some torrential downpours working their way in. So this is likely going to be a rain-wrapped tornado. Resetting, zooming out. I know it kind of gets confusing when we're zoomed in so far on what you're trying to look at here. And I'm just going to take us right back in to central and southern Kane County. So for those of you in Elburn, you are now included in a tornado warning until 9:15. This also extends over toward Batavia. Let's also, I want to time out some of these little mesovortices that we're seeing here. So let's take this off toward the east at about 40 miles per hour. For those of you in Lily Lake, you have an area of rotation that actually is only about 3 minutes from you. And go ahead and take a look at some of those arrival times. St. Charles, 15 minutes. Geneva in about 16 minutes. West Chicago, 23 minutes. Bartlett in about 24 minutes. And I'm also going to take things to the north here because this is starting to really grab my attention as far as signals of stronger rotation again. So I want to do this one as well, taking us over toward Elgin. We have Pingree Grove in about 10 minutes, Sleepy Hollow 20 minutes, South Elgin 20 minutes. And again, all of these locations that you're seeing listed on your screen right now, that is for an arrival time of an area of rotation that I'm concerned about here, looking at the radar, looking at the storm winds, and we could have brief spin-up tornadoes, and that particular area of rotation, if it sticks together and it holds together, or hopefully not, but if it does strengthen, this is likely where it's going to be and when. Mark, do you have any updates?
I don't have any updates currently, but just a continuation of what we've been doing. What I wanted to do is kind of give you a perspective of exactly where we're talking about here. So I'm going to just kind of build on the map here and show you exactly where we are and where all of this is happening. First of all, you can see Chicago. You can see these areas off to our west and to our northwest. You can see all of the thunderstorm warnings basically in this kind of tangerine color. And then as we go back north of Interstate 88 and along Interstate 90, you can see this is the area of tornado warnings. Again, this is where we've seen the most vorticity. This is that spin in the atmosphere. This is where we've seen, again, some high winds. Let me show you where the rainfall is. You can see the boxes are basically out in advance. They're warning you that this is coming. So they're in advance of this main line of showers and thunderstorms stretching from Coral down to around Genoa, Sycamore, passing DeKalb now, heading into Kane County. And let me show you, this is exactly what Emily has been talking about. This is storm radio velocity. We show you a lot of maps. They have a lot of colors on them. Basically, what this map shows you is where the winds are blowing from. This is Doppler radar. It shows the winds blowing away from the radar site and to the radar site. If you think of it as kind of an X-ray, we can kind of X-ray those storms and see the development of tornadoes. And that's what Em has been showing you here this evening. And these are the little areas where you see the reds and the greens kind of blending together, or at least kind of wrapping around each other. And these are the areas that we're concerned about. These are the leading edges. So basically from Elburn up to Lily Lake and just south of Pingree Grove, right along a very busy State Highway 47, these are all basically warned areas. And not only will we have these rain-wrapped tornadoes, but we'll have some high winds out of this as well. We've seen this. The winds in Illinois, we've seen some 70-mile-per-hour winds. In northwestern Illinois this evening, we had 84-mile-per-hour winds at Stockton, and in the Quad Cities, up over 75 miles per hour. So, yes, this will be dropping some trees, some power lines, making transportation, travel. You don't want to be out on the roads. You don't want to be outside in an environment like this. This is a very dangerous environment, even though we talk about these brief spin-up tornadoes along the leading edge of this squall line. That is to say they're not the long-track tornadoes. Sometimes we see these huge destructive tornadoes with winds in excess of 170, 180 miles per hour that go on for 10 or 12 miles. This is not that type of setup, but in a way it's a little more insidious, dangerous in a different way, because we have multiple tornadoes and possible tornadoes lining up along this entire leading edge. And that's why it's important to kind of warn everybody up and down the line, basically, that these tornadoes are on the way or just off to your horizon coming your way.
Yeah, and the environment right now is very conducive to keeping these storms going. There's not much that's going to get in the way to weaken these storms. We have a lot of heat, a lot of instability that we're still working with. Temperatures at this point are sitting in the upper 80s for a lot of us. It's still 86 degrees at O'Hare, 88 at Midway, 86 degrees in Gary. So again, there's not going to be a ton to slow these storms down. And I did want to point out, and this is actually just terribly unfortunate, for those of you that are in central and southern Kane County, this includes the city of Elburn. You actually had a confirmed tornado yesterday in the city of Elburn. We had an EF0 that was confirmed by the National Weather Service office in Chicago today that was confirmed for last night's storms in Elburn. And unfortunately, we have another tornado warning that is currently impacting the same exact area. So let's zoom things in. I do notice here that for those of you in southwestern McHenry County, you are no longer included in that tornado warning, but you still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect that's staying in effect until 9:15. But the tornado warning now seems to be confined to Kane County. So the northwestern sections of Kane County, we do have that tornado warning in effect until 9:15. Your time right now is 8:50. So we still have a little ways left on this particular warning. Same goes for central and southern Kane County, where I was just mentioning, where we have Elburn, Lily Lake area. This is the same exact area that was hit with an EF0 tornado yesterday with 80-mile-per-hour winds. So let's get a check of the storm relative velocity, see where these winds are at this point. And it looks like that we're starting to see the strongest signs of rotation in Elburn right now, right along Route 47. And then you follow that right on up into Lily Lake. That's where we have those reds beginning to show up there. So again, for those of you in Lily Lake, we have some pretty decent signs of rotation at this point. Brief spin-up tornadoes certainly going to be possible if we track that area to the east at about 40 miles per hour. That's how quickly these are moving. This is a look at some of those arrival times. So again, Lily Lake, just basically now it's pretty much right overhead. St. Charles, 13 minutes. South Elgin, 14 minutes. West Chicago in about 21 minutes. Bartlett, 22 minutes from now. Winfield in about 25 minutes. Carroll Stream, 25 minutes. Same goes for Hanover Park as well as Wheaton. Again, that is if this area of rotation holds together. But nonetheless, even if it doesn't, we're still getting those strong straight line winds coming out of that leading edge. I also want to track this portion of the storm, so just south of Elburn that I was just mentioning too, has signs of rotation. So timing some of that out for you. For those of you in Batavia, about 10 minutes from you. Same thing in Geneva. St. Charles, 11 minutes. West Chicago, 17 minutes. So some of these could potentially overlap. Again, it's pretty much a vertical, a north-south running wall of rain that's going to be heading your way in addition to those really strong winds. So unfortunately, we still have a ways to go here. Again, the only tornado warnings at this point are in Kane County. We have one for the northwestern sections, one for the central and southern sections of Kane County. But everywhere else, we have just severe thunderstorm warnings. But still, even for those of you that are just in a severe thunderstorm warning, you should still probably get to your safe space anyway, because unfortunately, with the setup that we have, those brief spin-up tornadoes, sometimes they're hard to pick up on the radar. It's hard to pick out where we're seeing those very weak signals of rotation. Those weak signals can oftentimes produce very quick and brief tornadoes. So again, for those of you anywhere right along this line, just take it seriously, even if you do end up just ending up in a severe thunderstorm warning versus a tornado warning. I do want to talk a little bit about those of you that are in Lake County, Illinois. Of course, we've had some torrential downpours over the last couple of hours now with these storms that really haven't been moving all of that much. So for that reason, we do have a flash flood warning that's remaining in effect until 12:30 or tomorrow morning, I should say, so 12:30 tonight. And we've already had some reports of some flash flooding that's been taking place. Again, for those of you that are in portions of Lake County, Illinois, we are dealing with some flash flooding. Now, let's look at what we can expect here over the next couple of hours. We're going to continue to see this moving through from west to east and then making its way out of here after about 1 a.m. After that, we're going to start to see things dying down a bit. We'll start to lose some of that heat and things should calm down during the overnight. But for now, Mark, things are just kind of getting started. We're just getting rolling right now.
Yeah, yes, we are. New severe thunderstorm warning that is up for Cook County, includes basically all of Chicago. It goes up northwest of Cook County. That is until 10:15 this evening. To be expected, National Weather Service is issuing these warnings in advance of the advancing storm system. Now, we've been showing you a lot of maps, a lot of graphics. You can see out here, these are where the tornado warnings are currently. Kane County, and you can see these tornado warnings that go all the way kind of up and down Kane County and kind of move into parts of DuPage County. But what I wanted to show you was the rotation. That's what we've been kind of talking a lot about, because not only is this a line of showers and thunderstorms marching our direction with high winds, but the thing that we've been really keeping an eye on is that rotation in the atmosphere. And it's the rotation that creates the tornadoes. And as we've been talking about this evening, we have rotation basically up and down the entire line of these thunderstorms that are pushing our way. And I want to show you that. Here you can see in the green, this is what Emily's been showing you earlier, the rotation tracker. And you can see all along the frontal edge here, taking you through McHenry County, down into Kane County, right through the tornado warned area here. And you see these like little bows that are kind of bowing out with, again, some pretty intense rotation through there. But basically this line just continues all the way down to LaSalle County, Kendall County, into Ottawa, and then all the way down into the panhandle of LaSalle County. So we have this entire line where we're seeing rotation basically on the front edge. Now, one of the things that's also kind of remarkable is we can look at kind of the history of that rotation, and you can kind of almost see this basically is where this line has been. And you can see that there's been rotation on that leading edge. All these little lines that kind of are right here. Let me just kind of draw it right here. You can see each one of these. They're almost like, if you will, kind of almost like fossilized records of where the atmosphere was. These were the leading edge of that storm system, taking you all the way back into the north and to the northwest. And you can see all along that leading edge, there's been some rotation. So this isn't just like one thunderstorm that pops up, we get a tornado out of it, bam, moves on, falls apart, and then the storm system kind of fizzles, or maybe it goes on and creates more havoc. Again, this is a linear line of storms that are marching right down across northern Illinois and creating these problems here for us. So I'm going to continue to, well, let's take that off, and just one more brief little stop. We'll show you basically where the rainfall is now. And Emily, you've been doing a great job keeping an eye on where those couplets are, where those little areas of vorticity are, where those tornadoes have been forming, and where they continue to form here tonight.
Have some very important updates to get to right now. So one, for those of you that are in Aurora, you are now likely hearing sirens. The sirens have been activated in Aurora. They've also been activated in Huntley, because there is now a confirmed tornado near Sugar Grove with a tornado debris signature that we can actually see. So actually, directors, can you go ahead, take this full screen? We're going to zoom things in very closely to some road names here, and let's get right to it. So we do have another tornado warning that we have to tell you about. This includes North Aurora and the city of Aurora, as well as Sugar Grove, extends over to the east into southwestern DuPage County. Now, what I'm looking at here is you can see that bright blue shade that's right along Route 30, which is, again, near Sugar Grove. That's where we have this confirmed tornado that is now making its way through. So let's take a look at our debris signature here, and I'm going to go ahead and circle this. So for those of you that are right along 88, so this is I-88 where it splits off with Route 30. This is actually what you're looking at here. This is a confirmed tornado. So this is the all of the debris that's being lofted up into the tornado. That's what we're seeing here. So this is very important here for those of you that are in Sugar Grove. If you are near Bliss Road, just to the south near Healy Road, just north and right along I-88, there is a confirmed tornado. It is on the ground. It has been spotted by spotters. And what you're seeing on your screen right now, this is what we call a debris ball. So this is picking up debris, whether it's dirt, whether it's, you know, part of homes and buildings, things like that. That's exactly what we're looking at here. So again, this is likely a rain-wrapped tornado. So unfortunately, we're not going to have a really good vision visual of this from a picture standpoint. Please do not go outside trying to get pictures of this. This is actually a very serious situation now. Again, for those of you right along I-88, this is in Sugar Grove. We now have a confirmed tornado just east of Blackberry Woods, and it's making its way off toward the east at about, I believe, 30 to 40 miles per hour. Now let's go ahead and stay on this screen for me, directors, and I'm going to read the tornado warning right now to get the very latest information on how quickly it is moving, and then I will go ahead and put a track on that for you so we can get some communities up on the board here that we can see. Again, this is a radar confirmed tornado at this point. It is moving to the east at 40 miles per hour, and once again, that is located just near Sugar Grove. So I'm going to put a track on this particular debris ball right here. So this is the actual tornado that we are timing off toward the east. As long as it maintains its strength and its speed, here's a look at some of those arrival times. So North Aurora, 7 minutes from you. Batavia, 10 minutes from you. West Chicago, 22 minutes. Warrenville in about 23 minutes. Winfield, 25 minutes. Same thing for Naperville. For those of you, if you just heard your community shouted out here, get to your safe space. Again, we've run through this a couple times, but basements are always going to be your best option. If that is not an option for you, you want to get to an interior room of your home, away from windows, away from exterior walls. Directors, you can go ahead and come back out to me now, and I'll try to explain what's taking place and what we're seeing here. So we do have a confirmed tornado, and likely the strong winds that are coming along with this line of storms that are moving through. These are severe thunderstorms. We have straight line winds coming along with this as well, and now we do have this confirmed tornado. So if you find yourself within this purple blinking box, so this is going from Sugar Grove up toward North Aurora, down to Aurora, and then over toward Warrenville. This also does include the city of Naperville. We have a confirmed tornado now that is located near Sugar Grove and making its way off toward the east. We're going to send this on over to the anchors real quick, and then welcome you to the 9 p.m. news.
Tonight, extreme weather is roaring again. We have full team coverage.
We're tracking severe storms with damaging winds, possible tornadoes, and the threat of flash flooding. Details straight ahead.
We are moments away from Donald Trump arriving at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. We will bring it to you live as it happens.
How is Chicago getting ready for the DNC after the assassination attempt?
Baseball's Midsummer Classic is here. We've got the Cubs and Sox All-Stars from Texas. Fox 32 News at 9 starts now.
Dawn Hasbrook here with Scott Schneider. Thank you for joining us at 9. We want to take you right back to this weather coverage that we have with meteorologist Mark Strell and chief meteorologist Emily Walls. Emily.
Hey, so we have a confirmed tornado that is right now on the ground near Sugar Grove. We did just get an update about 1 minute ago, right along I-88, mile marker 109. There was a report of a tornado on the ground in this location moving to the east. So let's get to the maps and show you what I'm talking about here. And I'm going to switch us over to storm relative velocity and then compare this to our debris ball detector here. So essentially this is showing us when we have some debris that's lofted up into the air. So this particular storm, the tornado itself, is moving to the east right around 40 miles per hour. It began over towards Sugar Grove, but what you can see right here is just right outside of North Aurora. So what we're looking at here, this yellow shading that you're seeing that is just north of I-88, this is the debris ball of the tornado. So this is likely a pretty powerful tornado that is on the ground moving through certain neighborhoods at this point. So for those of you, I'm going to shout out some of these road names. If these are ringing a bell and you're not already in your safe space, please get to that now. If you have friends, family that are in the North Aurora area, call them. Let them know that there is a confirmed tornado in their area. So the debris ball at this point, so this is the tornado that we're likely looking at, is passing over South Randall Road. We also have Oak Street. So where Oak Street meets with South Randall Road, this is likely where the tornado is at this point. For those of you that are near, this looks like Wildwood Road and over toward Oak Street, you're basically up next. This is moving in your direction. Hillside Road, Fairview Road, West State Street, Harmony Drive. If you are in any of those streets that I'm mentioning right now, the tornado that is reported to be on the ground, this is a debris signature that we're seeing here. It's moving off toward the east, and it's going to be moving over your location shortly. So at this point, what you want to do, first and foremost, stay calm. Just try to get to your safe space. Basements, always going to be your best option, if not an interior room. If we zoom things out, for those of you that are east of this location, I'm going to put a track on this so you know when to expect it moving into your area. And unfortunately, we're not really seeing signs of this weakening just yet. If anything, the debris signature looks to be a little bit stronger than it even did about 2 or 3 minutes ago. So not a great sign there. Go ahead and read those arrival times. Warrenville, 16 minutes. Winfield, 19 minutes. Naperville also heading your way in about 19 minutes. Looking at any updates from the National Weather Service, there was a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust at the Aurora Airport in Sugar Grove, so that was associated with these storms rolling through, and potentially that tornado that was also developing over Sugar Grove. I'm going to send it on over to Mark Strell. Mark, do you have any updates coming in from the Weather Service regarding this particular tornado?
You know, the very latest we had was the mile marker that you had there on Interstate 88, and now it looks like it's very near Interstate 88, but perhaps just several hundred feet off. But either way, very dangerous conditions up in the northwest suburbs and the western suburbs. A tornado warning issued for Kendall, and it looks like Will County has now been issued a tornado warning as well. Let me zoom back out here, and we can see if this bot has come up with an additional tornado warnings. And yes, you can see right there, basically some new watches that have been warnings. This is for Will County, expires at 9:45. This is the one that Emily was just tracking here. This is for parts of DuPage, and then this is a tornado warning for Kane County as well. So we've got some more activity. This is exactly what we're talking about. All along this leading edge, it's several different areas to pinpoint where these tornadoes have been and where they're being formed. And again, this is the tornado up in Kane County near Aurora. One of the problems that we're going to have here going forward is that we have seen some strengthening. We have seen the winds flowing in a little bit stronger, making a better environment for these tornadoes to form here in the last half hour, 35, 40 minutes or so. The other problem we have is now this line is moving into a much more highly populated area. And again, Emily, right now, right along this line, we have 3 separate tornado warnings.
Yes, and we actually have something else to pass along to you. So Mark was just mentioning the new tornado warning that had just been issued for northeastern Kendall County and then stretching over into Will County. And we do now have this as a confirmed tornado as well. So if we zoom things in, this is the same thing that I was just showing you. I know this map kind of looks a little crazy, so just bear with me here as I try to explain it. This, what we're looking at just east of Oswego, that too is the debris ball of a confirmed tornado that is on the ground. So we are seeing that debris signature just east of Oswego, and it's making its way off toward the east at about 45 miles per hour. So the same deal that I did with the last one, what I'm going to do is track this to the east for communities that are further off toward the east so that you know when to expect this moving into your location. Right now, this is moving at about 40 miles per hour, and actually I have to zoom out even further in order to get that. I'm still too far in. So just bear with me for a moment here. Taking this debris signature out toward about 45 miles per hour. Here's a look at some of those arrival times. So if this thing holds together, and as of right now, that tornado signature, it appears fairly strong. So again, those of you on the east side of Oswego, there is a confirmed tornado. It's moving to the east at about 45 miles per hour. Arrival times for that one, Romeoville in about 15 minutes, Bolingbrook 16 minutes, Woodridge 18 minutes, Lamont area about 20 minutes from you, Darien 23, Westmont 24, looks like Goodings Grove in about 26 minutes, Willowbrook 26 minutes, same thing in Homer Glen, Burr Ridge in about 27 minutes, same thing in Hinsdale, and then Indian Head Park in about 28 minutes. So let's zoom things in really, really far here. I want to shout out some arrival times and some road names for you. For those of you in Oswego, south of Wolf Road and just west of Douglas Road, that's where our tornado is at this point, where you're seeing this green showing up here. Again, this is Wolf Road, Douglas Road. On the east side of Oswego, we have a confirmed tornado that is on the ground. For those of you that are in the neighborhoods surrounding this area, Let's go ahead and get a look at some of those road names. So it looks like Ebony Drive, Apollo Lane, Douglas Road just east of there. Again, this is heading your direction at about 45 miles per hour. So the next scan that comes in, we're likely going to see this debris ball taking off further toward the east. Let's zoom things back out, get a big picture of what's taking place. We have 2 confirmed tornadoes. One originated in Sugar Grove. It's making its way toward the east, heading toward North Aurora. Let's zoom in and get a check of that one. We haven't checked in on that in just a couple of minutes here. Storm relative velocity, seeing where we're seeing some of those strongest signs of rotation all right along this leading edge. We are seeing at least signs of some spin that could briefly spin up some of those tornadoes. But again, this right here, this is going to be our debris ball. So this originated off to the west, right along I-88 in Sugar Grove, and it's making its way off toward the east, kind of traveling right along I-88. For those of you that are near Route 59 and I-88, this is on the ground. It's moving your way, again, moving off toward the east at about 40 miles per hour. We have a confirmed tornado that is in parts of DuPage County now, beginning to work its way over toward Naperville. So if this keeps on its same track, traveling just to the south of I-88, it's going to be passing on the north side of Naperville. For those of you in this area, make sure you're heeding the warning, get to your safe space. We have just south of I-88 and west of I-59. I did just hear that we have a camera that we can take. Can you tell me one more time where that's at? This is I-88 near Naperville. So what we're looking at here, we're seeing some rain coming down. And are we heading west? Do we know? Okay, so we are heading west through Naperville along I-88. And for those of you, for our crew, just make sure you're listening to this too. At some point, we're gonna need you to get off and go to the north. You're gonna take an exit to the north because you do not wanna go exiting south of I-88. Again, that is where the tornado, the confirmed tornado is traveling. So just south of 88, west of I-59, we have a confirmed tornado that's making its way off toward the east. For those of you in this area, if you know somebody that's traveling through this area, let them know that there is a confirmed tornado that's traveling right along I-88, just south of the highway, and it should be remaining on an easterly track at about 40 miles per hour. So let's track this debris ball over toward the east. Again, we're gonna take this out close to 40 miles per hour. Some arrival times, Naperville, this is now only about 7 minutes from you. Again, it's going to be passing on the northern side of Naperville. For those of you on the south side, of course, don't let your guard down. We still have this line of storms coming through. We're going to have straight line winds, but that confirmed tornado, it should be passing on the northern side of Naperville. For those of you in Lisle, this is moving your direction in about 12 minutes, Woodridge 15 minutes, Downers Grove in about 17 minutes, 20 minutes for Westmont, Darien 21 minutes, Oak Brook Terrace in about 22 minutes, Burr Ridge 26 minutes. Let's zoom in one more time, get the latest scan as it's coming in. Again, for those of you that are just east of Eola Road, south of I-88, this is now where our tornado is at this point. It is just west of I-59. We're still seeing that signature that's suggesting that we still have debris in the air with this latest scan. I will say it doesn't look to be quite as pronounced as what it was with the last scan. With that said, we're still seeing at least some signs that we could have debris in the air. Zooming out, let's see what other warnings that we have. We still have that confirmed tornado warning in northeastern Kendall County, stretching into northern Will County. We did have a confirmed tornado that was just east of Oswego. And I want to go ahead and take this full screen. I'm going to step off camera for a moment. And I want to put this in motion. So for those of you that are on the east side of Oswego, we had a tornado debris signature that we were seeing, and that's what prompted this confirmed tornado warning that, again, is remaining in effect until 9:45. So let's set this in motion, and I'll show you what we're looking at here. I think you can see my cursor. There you go. So on the east side of Oswego, you can see this little area right here. Just west of Route 30, where I'm kind of circling with my cursor, you're seeing those yellows, those greens showing up, and you can kind of follow that from scan to scan, how it's moving from west to east. So let's stop this now, and we're going to compare it to the radar. And you can see it's right along this leading edge. We have this little notch right here, right along Route 30 that we're seeing with our reflectivity. If we compare that to the storm relative velocity, I'm not seeing a really strong signal from this point, but nonetheless, we already know what's taking place because of this debris detector and this debris signature that we're able to see. So again, that is a confirmed tornado. This does include the city of Oswego. This is for northeastern Kendall County. This stretches over into northern Will County. It is moving to the east right around 40 miles per hour. So once again, I will put a track on this for those of you in this location, taking this to the east right around 40 miles per hour or so. And here's a look at some of those arrival times. So Romeoville about 14 minutes, Bolingbrook about 14 minutes, Woodridge 17 minutes. And again, this is still a confirmed tornado that is working its way to the east. Mark. Oh, we're actually going to take this out to Casey Cronus, who is on the northwest side in the northwest suburbs right now. Casey, what are you seeing, and have you reached the wall of rain yet?
Hi, Emily. It is coming. Some raindrops just started to fall. Here in Palatine, it seems to be the calm before the storm, because you can really tell by the difference in the sky to the west of us where the storm is on its way to the east. The sky is getting darker as that storm approaches. Now, it is also causing some transportation issues tonight. A ground stop was issued at O'Hare starting at 8:30 and is in place until at least 9:30. The FAA citing thunderstorms to be the reason for that. At the same time, a ground delay is in effect until 11 p.m. with average delays clocking in at about 46 minutes. Meanwhile, in Woodstock, further northwest, Metro Union Pacific Northwest trains were stopped around 7:40 tonight because of high wind warnings. That is affecting both in and outbound trains, with Metro officials stating delays could be extensive. Again, back here in Palatine, the rain just starting to fall slowly. Roads are not wet just yet, but again, the sky is so dark west of us, much brighter to the east of us, so it is clear that that storm is almost here. Now let's send things to Tia Ewing, who is live in the city.
Well, thank you, Casey. I'm now in Wrigleyville. I want to just show you what I can see out here right now. A little wind has picked up. And in fact, a crowd just came out of Wrigley Field not too long ago, leaving a concert. That concert was supposed to start at 5:30 tonight, but it was moved up to 4:30 in fear of this wicked weather that would be coming through. The concert put on by Journeys, the Steve Miller Band, and also Def Leppard. A lot of people out here were trying to make sure that they got home to beat this weather, and we did get to hear from some of those people. But fans overall, they enjoyed themselves here in Wrigleyville. Thousands braved the heat, but didn't want to contend with rain and extreme wind that is slated to move through. We do know there's a flood watch in place for portions of Cook County until tomorrow morning. A tornado watch has been issued for all of Chicago until 1 Tuesday morning. And we did get a chance to speak with Teresa. She left the concert early in fear of being caught in really bad weather.
Well, there's black clouds above, yes. So we're trying to head back, so get an Uber and get back home safely.
So one of the big issues that we've noticed since we've been out here, I was looking around to see if the trees were still shaking, and they are. Definitely wind has picked up, and we know, Emily, you've been talking about that. That wind will definitely be an issue. No rain in sight just yet here, but definitely that wind has picked up, and I know you've been reporting that those gusts could be up to 80 miles per hour. I know you've been tracking a confirmed tornado. Emily, I'll send it back to you inside of the Weather Center right now.
Thank you, Tia, for that. So yes, we do have two confirmed tornadoes that we need to tell you about. One is moving out of southeastern Kane County and then over into DuPage County. We've been following a debris ball with that one. We have another confirmed tornado that is on the northeast side of Kendall County, moving into portions of northern Will County. And we actually have another tornado warning that we need to tell you about, and another one just popped up too in southern Cook County and most of Will County. This includes Joliet on over toward places like Dolton, Stager area. We're seeing that tornado warning in effect until 10 p.m. Northern Cook County has now been added to a tornado warning as well. So let me zoom things in. Actually, this is kind of important for all of you in the city of Chicago to know. You are surrounded by tornado warnings. There is one to the north. There's a confirmed tornado warning to your west, and then also to the south. So it's really kind of only a matter of time until we likely end up getting a tornado warning in central Cook County, which will likely end up including the city of Chicago. So now is your time to prepare aware that we're going to be seeing that likely taking place here pretty soon. Let's zoom things in, get a check of our confirmed tornado warnings that are taking place. Again, we did have a confirmed tornado that developed near Sugar Grove. It passed just south of I-88 through North Aurora. And let's take a look here at our debris signature and see if we are picking up on anything, if we can follow that to the east. So here's where it started. Following it to the east, it looks like we could potentially still have a debris signature now near Warrenville. So this little area that I'm circling here, so this is I-88 where it meets with Route 59. We have Ferry Road here. If you follow Ferry Road, crossing Route 59, that is where we could potentially have a tornado that's on the ground. Now, I will say what we're looking at right here, this debris signature is much less intense than what we were seeing about 5-6 minutes ago when it was taking place further off toward the west. So that's a good sign. But with that said, for those of you that are still within this confirmed tornado warning, you of course have to take this very seriously. This does include still the Warrenhurst area, Naperville area. But again, I do think that this is going to be passing north of Naperville. And setting this in motion again, I just want to double check a couple things because again, I'm analyzing this in real time as we're on the air with you. As this continues to make its way to the east, we have the strong winds coming along with that. And let's compare the radar to our debris signature here. What I'm looking at, and Mark, I'm gonna have you jump in here with your voice. Are you seeing what I'm seeing, that we could potentially have a debris signature just east of Warrenville, north of I-88? It looks like it kind of travels right along 88, similar to what we were seeing, and then it bounces to the north.
Yeah, I wonder if that's not part of that same system that we've been monitoring all along Interstate 88. We have a crew out there. We'll send them in that direction to get some confirmation. You know, I was just looking at notice from the National Weather Service, and they were talking about, I was just thinking this just a few minutes earlier, there's almost too many circulations to count on this line. So let me take you back up. We're going to work our way right along the line here. Now, again, this is our what we call relative velocity. Basically, we're taking a look at the winds on the leading edge of this system. The red area, winds going away from the radar site, and green towards the radar site. And when you see them commingle, when you see them kind of cross over into each other's area, well, that's almost certainly an area of rotation, certainly the spawning area for tornadoes. And you can just see all along here, especially as we get down here south of, of 68, and we go through the Barringtons, and then we get a little further south towards Bartlett, Streamwood. You just see just numerous areas where we just have areas where winds are just diametrically opposed all the way along this line, and that's why we have, quite frankly, so many tornado warnings. It's just incredible that we have tornado warnings surrounding the city of Chicago right now. Everywhere you look, we have this atmosphere that is just swirling in these little vortexes, these little swirling areas along this front that are creating the problems here tonight. Compound that with some straight line winds that I'm sure are in the mix as well. We've been seeing those at 65, 70, 75 miles an hour all evening long.
Yeah, so Mark, we were just talking about how the city of Chicago is kind of surrounded by tornado warnings right now. That is still the case, but I do want to zoom things in and let you guys know that in southern DuPage County, this now includes Wheaton, Downers Grove area, up toward Elmhurst, that confirmed tornado warning that was previously off toward the west, including places like Sugar Grove, North Aurora, Naperville. It has now been expanded to the east because of that debris signature that we were actually just following. So I want to get back to that. I just want to check here real quick, make sure there's nothing. Looks like we have a funnel in Boulder Hill about 5 minutes ago. So that's in Kendall County. And then we also had a report of major tree damage in portions of Oswego, which of course is where we were tracking this tornado moving through. It developed just on the east side of Oswego. So this is almost confirming that we were seeing debris actually lofted in the air on our debris signature here. Okay, so again, for those of you that are in DuPage County, especially southern DuPage County, this blinking purple box here, that is a confirmed tornado warning. I want to take us over to the debris signature and I'm going to set it in motion because it gives us a really good idea of where this potential tornado is. And you can kind of follow this discoloration. It was on the east side of Warrenville, crossed I-88. Now it appears like it could be approaching, what is this, 355. So 355 and I-88 where they merge together. That's where we could be potentially seeing a tornado at this point. Again, that is just one of many tornado warnings. So I'm going to bounce things to the south here too. And we're going to track the one that was just developing east of Oswego. So what I want you to follow here with your eyes, I know it's kind of a lot looking at this color palette here, but what we're looking for is the debris signature that you see just to the east of Oswego right here. And it's green and blue. And then we're going to track it off toward the east. So as of right now, we could potentially have a tornado that is near Bolingbrook. And let's compare that to the radar here. So something that happens when we're dealing with radar sites is the view of the storm gets a little misconstrued here. So unfortunately, there's a little bit of almost a blind spot, if you will, for those of you that are near Romeoville, Bolingbrook. But just know at this point, we did have a confirmed tornado that was over toward the east side of Oswego. It's been tracking to the east, and the latest debris signature. Those of you that are in Bolingbrook, now is the time. Hopefully you're already in your safe space. If you know somebody that's in Bolingbrook, go ahead and give them a call. Just let them know that they are in this tornado warning because of a confirmed tornado that developed east of Oswego and is tracking off toward the east. Right now, the strongest signs of rotation do seem to be just to the northwest of I-55, just west of Route 53. So again, that's putting us right in Bolingbrook where we could potentially have a confirmed tornado. Now, sliding things to the north. We've been tracking another tornado that's been traveling right along I-88, moving to the east. Right now, the strongest signs of rotation seem to be right along I-88, just north of Route 34, and then where it kind of meets with 355. So 355, where it comes together with 88, we are seeing some stronger signals here of some rotation. If I go ahead and check on the debris signature here and zoom it out, and if we put it back in play, then possibly we could be able to track that as it makes its way in, and we can kind of confirm here. So what I'm doing, I'm going from product to product to almost kind of verify what I'm seeing on the other product. It helps us kind of create this story here of what we're seeing. It helps us give that full picture. So again, for those of you that are along I-88 near 355, I did just hear from my producer that we have video along I-88. Is this from our yes. Okay, so right now what you're looking at is I-88. We have the torrential downpours that are coming down. That's going to continue to work its way off toward the east. So in addition to this possible tornado that we're still dealing with, and it could potentially still be on the ground right along I-88 in portions of DuPage County, we're getting those torrential downpours and likely some very gusty winds as well. So on the leading edge of these storms, it's not out of the question that we're getting up to 70-mile-per-hour winds being possible. So for those of you, even if you are outside of the tornado warning area, if you are in a severe thunderstorm warning, you still want to take this very seriously because right along the leading edge here, we're seeing all these little divvies, and it's beginning to show us some signs of rotation. Now kind of grabbing my eye is just east of Route 53, northeast of Elwood. This is not a confirmed tornado at this point, but again, we do have a tornado warning due to radar indicated rotation taking place in portions of northern Will County, and this does extend over into Cook County as well. So now just east of 53, this is likely the reason that this warning here was issued. We are seeing those inbound, outbound winds kind of coming together here right over Route 53, northeast of Elwood. This is not a confirmed tornado at this point, but it's really going to be something that we have to watch here as it makes its way off toward the east. Let's zoom out, big picture here. I know it gets hard to look at when you're so closely zoomed in. For those of you that are in Lake County, you have not only a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10:15, but you also have a flash flood warning that's going to remain in effect for the next several hours because of just the amount of water that we've been dealing with. We've already had reports of flooding taking place in Lake County. We did just get an update for those of you that are near, it looks like near Manhattan, There's another strong circulation. That's the one that I was just mentioning. But also the tornado that we've been talking about, the confirmed tornado that was near Bolingbrook and Romeoville, the Weather Service saying that it actually just passed south of their office. So at this point, it does appear to still be on the ground at this point. So again, for those of you that are in the Romeoville area, Bolingbrook area, we do have some stronger signs of rotation that we're dealing with, and also a tornado that is on the ground. So if you find yourself highlighted in either of these blinking, excuse my phone, you're probably all hearing this as well if you're in the Chicago area. So the reason that's going off is because we now have a tornado warning that is for Cook County. This does include the city of Chicago. I'm sure a lot of you have been hearing those noises throughout the evening. It's been a very busy night for all of us. So let's get back out to the big picture here. Sorry, that was very loud and distracting and threw me off for a second.